There are some subsidies out there that are helping a lot of Americans pay the premiums for their health insurance. So the subsidies are going to go away. The same plan starting January 1st that we have that we pay $1,400 for is going to be $1,700 a month.
Oh my God.
Nothing changes at all. No body parts grow additionally.
I might have to grow a new body part. I'd be good with an extra arm.
To some independent contractors, that's going to eat into their profits.
Oh, big time. Right? You are really going to be forced to be doing business as a business. If your costs are going up, you really have to see yourself more than just as, well, I'm the doctor and I'm here to see patients. You have to really start interacting with these hospitals as a business.
On top of that, policy matters. You're going to be affected by this. Like, you cannot sit on the sidelines. And guess what? When patients can't afford premiums, guess what they do? They go to the ED. What up, everybody? This is Dr. Nii, joined by my co-host,
Dr. Renee.
Hope everybody's doing well. This is our first podcast after Thanksgiving. We hosted Thanksgiving. It's busy, but it's a very important holiday for me and my family, mainly because we don't get together too often. That's the one time where we all as a family get together and have dinner, break bread. And it was great this year.
Yeah, it was.
Great this year.
My back was killing me.
Yeah, you did a lot of cooking, and I definitely got to appreciate you for that. Big ups for you for doing the riz à pois, for doing the, macaroni au gratin. Everything out there, for the most part, was great. And you spent a lot of time working on it. I appreciate you for that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Alfred, let's get a round of applause for her, yo. Please.
Well, you cleaned up the place.
Actually, no, you did.
What do you mean?
I didn't clean up.
No, I mean, before, remember all the stuff downstairs?
Oh, yeah. Because we, family, we rarely stay in just one place. So I just wanted to make sure that it was comfortable for people to roam around and go to the basement.
Yeah.
Go to the bedrooms, wherever they want to go.
A lot of stuff in the basement.
Yeah, we got to get rid of a lot of shit. So
yeah.
But that's not what we're here for. What are
we here for?
Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody for tuning in on YouTube as well as on the audio experience. I just want to say I appreciate everyone. We got a lot of feedback from the previous episode.
Really?
Had some friends even reach out just to be like, glad you guys are back.
I think people sent out an APB on us.
Yeah. We got text messages. We got questions.
Y'all okay?
We got comments on YouTube that
Y'all
we're responding
still together?
to. Yo, it's like that sometimes. But we good. We gonna be good. But sometimes, there's a little bit of, as they heard in the previous episode, too many irons on the plate.
Yes.
Or on the stove, excuse me.
Yes.
And just want to say I appreciate everybody for tuning in because, this is the best doctor podcast out there. I'll tell you right now.
You better be.
And we keep it real.
You better keep it real.
Yeah. So let's talk about real quick, briefly, what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how the Affordable Care Act premiums that are going to skyrocket in less than a month, how it's going to affect us, how it's going to affect those who are listening right now, and how it's going to affect your patients. We're going to answer a question from someone who wrote us this is not a straightforward question. This is more of like a black and white in one respect, and then it's more of an emotional question on the other. Basically, it's about how PSLF and being a first generation immigrant and being the only doctor in your family, how that all relates and tracks. And then that's pretty much it. We're going to get out of here after that.
Okay.
All right. So let's jump into this. So let's talk about ACA premiums. If you guys have been living under a rock, for those who've been living under a rock, the main reason why the government went into a shutdown is there are some subsidies out there that are helping a lot of Americans pay the premiums for their health insurance. And a lot of these folks get their health insurance through the Affordable Care Act, through the marketplace, Obamacare, whichever word you want to use. If you're getting health insurance not through your employer, that's what the Affordable Care Act kicks in. That's how we as a family, since 2017, that's how we as a family get our health insurance. And basically we go on a website. We go into New Jersey's website because we live in Jersey. And we look at all the different health plans, and it's just like anybody who's working right now, and they have different tiers. They have a bronze plan, they have a silver tier, and then they also have a gold plan. And that's it. You pay your insurance. For those who are independent contractors, the 1099 docs out there, for even your patients, what ends up happening is you get some type of subsidy if you are a patient for the most part. If you're an independent contractor, for example, if you're a doctor, you probably
Locums.
you probably don't qualify for a subsidy to pay for your premium, but there's a significant portion of that premium that you pay that is tax deductible.
Right.
Because the IRS looks at that as the cost of doing business. In order for you to work and provide your services at a hospital, you got to have your own health insurance, right? You are an employee.
Because nobody else is giving it to you.
Right. So those premiums and those subsidies are going to go reverse. So the subsidies are going to go away starting January 1st. So that means that a lot of people are going to be paying a shit ton of money now.
Boo.
The premiums are going to go through the roof. And I'll just start with us. Actually, let's just be a mode of transparency. So right now we're in open enrollment. By the end of this month, we got to make a decision on our healthcare coverage. So if you go to New Jersey's website, we currently pay $1,400 a month for our health insurance, which a lot of people are like, good Lord, that's a lot of money, especially if you're employed, right? Your health insurance costs the same amount, but your job is probably paying maybe
either
50,
all or 50% of it.
50% of it, 60% of it is part of your fringe benefits, right? And then you pay a premium out of your paycheck. That's how it works. So that's why you probably are used to seeing like $300 or $400 or $500, depending on how many kids you got, right? I can make a joke there, but depending on how many kids you got.
What joke?
I don't know. Just follow me. If you got a lot of kids, then probably your premiums are a little bit higher. If you don't, your premiums are a little bit lower. But either way, we pay $1,400 a month. So I went to the website to start enrolling us in for making sure we have a new plan, because I'm also considering, the kids are at 8 and 6 now. They're not going to the doctor as much, but because they're 8 and 6, they get on bicycles, they do a bunch of stupid shit. The likelihood of them going into the hospital
and getting hurt.
Right. Our kids are entering into that appendectomy stage. You know what I'm saying? Like they are, all of those different things are starting to come up.
Sorry, I'm laughing because when I was little, when I was about 9 or so, something happened with my dad's job or whatever, and we didn't have health insurance.
Oh, yeah.
And he'd be like, go inside. We don't have any health insurance. You
Don't
can't
cost
go
us no
outside.
money.
Don't go falling outside. Go inside. Don't play outside.
And back then, there was no urgent care. There was just the ER. Just the ER, y'all.
I remember a bike fell on my head.
You be good. Tussin. Put some tussin on. You be all right.
I actually needed stitches, but...
Okay, mom and dad will do it for you.
No. They took me to the ER.
Oh, word? Get the janitor to do it. Even the janitor's prices are too high. Well, listen, I was there too back in 1988 when my dad lost his job on Black Friday. Was it Black Friday? Black Monday.
Black Monday.
Yeah, Black Monday. Was it?
Black Friday is when you buy stuff.
Yeah, I think it was Black Monday.
He definitely didn't buy nothing on Black Friday if he lost his job.
Yeah, so he lost his job, and we, same thing. Had the same discussion. Hey, we ain't got no health insurance.
Go inside.
Stay inside, yo. So
I think it was in an immigrant's guidebook.
Yeah.
To survival.
But so I went online to look at our health insurance because I'm thinking about increasing the premiums. But if we stay at our current, what we have, which is the bronze tier plan. And the reason we do bronze tier is because we want to have a high deductible plan. Basically, we don't anticipate using the medical system. So we say, look, we'll have a high deductible.
We don't anticipate using it as much.
What did I say?
We don't anticipate using the medical system.
Okay. Well, we don't anticipate. You guys know what I'm talking about. They get what I'm saying, right?
Okay. I just want to make sure.
So as a result, our premiums are lower, right? But if something were to happen, we would pay a little bit more than somebody else who pays higher premiums, right? I'm tracking, right?
You're tracking.
So the same plan starting January 1st that we have that we pay $1,400 for is going to be $1,700 a month.
Oh, my God.
Nothing changes at all. No body parts grow additionally. It's the same thing.
I might have to grow a new body part.
Well, that's $300 a month overnight.
I think I'd be good with an extra arm.
That is a 21% jump in our deductible or in our premiums. So I'll just tell you right now, like, it's not just us. So any of the healthcare professionals who are listening who are independent contractors, those independent contractors who are not in healthcare, those, what do you call it? Plumber, consultants, whatever it may be. There's some residents who are in high deductible health plans, right? So they're like, well, I don't see the doctor much. I'm young, they're going to see an increase in their premiums.
Mhm.
Patients are going to see an increase in their premiums. So
Yep.
it's not just us. So we just wanted to share that it's affecting us, but it's also going to be affecting you also.
Yeah.
Right. So that's going to be a problem. Now we can handle that, obviously, right? But to some independent contractors, that's going to eat into their profits.
Oh, big time.
Right? That'll eat into your profits. And that might even cause some of y'all to come back to the negotiating table with some hospitals and be like, yo, you're going to have to pay me a little bit more to offset the fact that I have higher costs.
Right.
So that may or may not put you in a good position, though. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that you're going to be much more forced, especially as physicians who are doing locums independent contracting. You are really going to be forced to be doing business as a business, right? Because this is what happens when you have businesses that have costs that increase.
Yeah.
Right? When everybody's talking about tariffs, it's like, well, who's paying those tariffs? Because guess what? These businesses aren't going to necessarily take on all of the costs. So it's going to be kind of the same thing. If your costs are going up as an independent contractor, you really have to see yourself more than just as, well, I'm the doctor and I'm here to see patients. You have to really start interacting with these hospitals as a business.
Well, I agree with what you're saying. I think even on top of that, policy matters. Right? I think the folks who are listening right now, if you're an independent contractor, all you guys right now, whether you're a resident and so forth, you're going to be affected by this. So policy matters. Like, you cannot sit on the sidelines and either not pay attention, because in some form or fashion it's going to affect you. It's going to affect you as a locums doc. It's going to affect you as an employed doc. Yeah. It's going to affect your patients. And guess what? When patients can't afford premiums, guess what they do? Guess where they go? They go to the ED. So the whole point of the Affordable Care Act was to get them, basic health insurance so that they can go and see a PCP.
Right. So they're not in the ED as much.
So they could go to urgent care, right? So this is all financially feasible. Now, all of a sudden you're telling me, well, it costs way too much for me to pay for my health insurance. I'll just do what I did before, or I'll do what someone else used to do, which is, look, the ER is my PCP.
Right.
Right. So that's the problem. The decisions or the inaction of Congress, it has real effects on us. And we've had to have, or we're going to have a conversation as to how we're going to budget a little bit better, because I know you guys are like, well, you guys are two physicians, y'all got this and so forth. Yo, this stuff has real effects.
Yeah.
This has real consequences, right? For two docs who use, what we get paid to not only keep the household going, but don't forget, we got retirement plans. We got all of these different benefits that if you are employed right now and you don't necessarily have to worry about, we have to worry about.
Right.
Right. And I think the majority of small businesses or small business owners would have to worry about also. So that's just one thing that, is a little bit frustrating. So I just wanted to pivot, and some people may be listening, well, I get what you're saying, but tell me why. So I had to keep notes and I had to look it up because this stuff is a little bit confusing. So I had to keep notes. So the point that I want to make is what's actually causing the premium spike. So the first one is a lot of these subsidies that came into place were around COVID. They're set to expire. And Congress is Congress is deciding not to renew those subsidies. And as a result, the subsidies go down, more of the costs fall on the patients, more of the costs fall on us, premiums are going to go through the roof. Right. Second, as always, what's always rising? Healthcare. Healthcare is always rising. The drug prices, how much it costs to stay in a hospital.
Yeah.
The operating costs for the hospitals. Don't forget the one big beautiful bill took a bunch of money from particularly rural hospitals. So as a result, the insurance companies, they are raising their rates. And then healthcare insurance companies are also raising their rates. So it's frustrating.
Yeah.
And then insurance companies also on top of that are going to say that, well, more people are using insurance. So the utilization goes up. And who pays for it? We do. Right. So
but what happens when all of that falls into place and then less people are using insurance?
Man, look, do I look like Kaiser or I'm like Robert Wood Johnson? But I do agree with what you're saying, right? Like, I don't know what that looks like. Is there a
For
possibility?
me, I don't think it will look any different. I think, the costs of everything will continue to go up because let's face it, the cost of things don't typically go down.
No.
Right? So the cost of things typically go up. And no matter what the utilization is, right? At least in this realm, right? We're not talking about, 6 CD changers, right? Where, the cost is going to go down because nobody uses it anymore because there's other technology. There's no other technology that is going to replace healthcare, right? The need for healthcare. So the cost is going to continue to go up because there is literally no other way for it to go.
Well, the other thing is there's no checks and balances on it, right? There's a famous Vox. I got to find it. There's a famous Vox video where, I don't know if you remember this. He's a Vox journalist. He's married. His wife is about to have a child. And he decided to do a social experiment where he called the insurance company.
Yes.
And he wanted to know what's the upfront cost of this delivery.
Yes.
So there's literally no way for me to discover what the cost is until after I buy it. Is that right?
We do not keep that information on hand. Everything is processed after.
They couldn't give him a straightforward answer. Literally, they didn't even know who to send him to first.
Yeah.
So he tried going to an insurance company. They're like, we're sending you back to the hospital because it's all about how much the hospital is going to charge us.
Right.
And then he started finding out, like, the whole thing that we all learn about in med school, that a Tylenol pill is, what, $100?
You don't learn that in med school.
I heard it in med school, though.
You might have heard it, but we don't learn it.
All right, you may be right.
Okay, they don't teach us no prices of anything in med school.
Maybe right.
Yeah, not maybe.
So everything is inflated, but he ended the video by, he just had to estimate.
Right.
He had to
just
estimate.
Don't know. The only way to know what you're going to pay for a hospital stay, like let's say a delivery and a couple of days postpartum, is you have to look at other people who had similar, situations as you, and then see what they paid, and then estimate on average how much that might be for you. Yeah. I think that's literally the only way to do it. Because they can't tell you. You're about to embark. Remember, and I think we might have learned this when we were getting our MBAs, but healthcare is one of the only, if not the only, industry where you consume something without ever knowing how much it's going to cost you up front. You just don't know. So you have no clue what you're getting yourself into.
Here in the United States.
Here in the United States.
Well,
I mean,
because we've been to Ghana where before you get a medical procedure done, they can give you, they have an Excel document or they have tabulations that can tell you need an appendectomy, this is how much anesthesia is going to cost, this is how much, the surgical procedure is going to cost, this is how much antibiotics is going to cost, this is how all this is going to cost, this is kind of sort of speak where you're going to be at.
Right.
So I definitely think in other countries they're able to do it. Here in the United States, it's a huge conglomerate. It's a huge...
They either can't or they won't.
Yeah, it's an inefficiency that people profit from. And as a result, the opacity of it benefits somebody and they're going to make a lot of money from it. So it's not going to get any clearer.
Can you imagine going into the supermarket and not knowing what you're going to pay? Which, by the way, Alfred, if you could just throw in that video that we're going to send you about Dr. Nii going to the supermarket to shop for Thanksgiving and knowing exactly what he's going to pay before we ever get to the register.
What video was that?
Just watch the video.
Okay.
That's what you're doing.
Pushing around this technologically advanced shopping cart. Not only can I pay for this, not only can I keep track of what I bought, but I could also get any coupons available for this. And I could pay for it, and I ain't got to be on no damn line. This is the bomb. .com.
Let's see you pick up an item, and let's see how it works.
Okay. So?
Would you like some pie?
Yeah. Let's do a family-sized pumpkin pie, right?
Oh, you're going to get canceled.
Why?
You might want to get sweet potato, bro.
Oh, okay. There's a difference?
You're definitely canceled.
All right, so the barcode's there. I just go, okay. Sweet potato pie.
Let's see. Sweet potato pie. Right there. What do you think about it?
Oh, they got this type of sweet potato. It's dope, actually. They got this sweet potato. It's cheaper.
Okay, you might be uncanceled.
So we getting that?
No, we're not getting that one. We're gonna get the other one.
So if I want to get rid of it.
Yeah, if you want to get rid of it, yeah.
That's it.
Oh,
It's
you
gone.
just scanned it twice?
No, it's gone.
Oh, okay. It's just gone. So it weighs it. It does it by weight.
No, there's cameras here.
Ah, the camera.
And then there's a barcode there. It'll read the barcode.
Okay.
Which, are we getting this one?
No, we're gonna get the bigger one from
Costco?
yeah.
Oh, now you know.
That was fun.
That was fun. That's dad life right there. All right, so let's get on my
The
point two.
dichotomy.
Let's get on my point two. So point two is who gets hit the hardest. As you already know, I talked about in the intro, it's going to be patients, right? So they may either drop coverage because it's going to cost too much, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which means they're going to end up coming to the ED sicker. They're going to be missing a whole bunch of appointments because all the things that were covered before,
Mm-hmm.
they ain't showing up.
Yep.
So they're going to show up in your ED. So
Yep.
if you're a doctor in the ED, if you're a doctor in the ED and you drive a Lucid, your day is about to get busier.
Will you leave Dr. Love alone?
Your day is about to get busier. You better charge longer. Like, I'm about to have an easy day today. Fuck out of here. You better charge. You ain't leaving on the end of your shift. That's what's going to happen. So listen, if you're a healthcare, yeah, that's right. If you're a healthcare worker, you're going to see your premiums rise, whether you're employed or not. They're going up. I'm telling you this right now. So that's a problem. And then obviously, if you're an independent contractor, here's where one thing that got to think about. Those independent contractors this is what we suggest. Listen, if you got like three jobs, and you're like juggling them, they're going to look at which one's going to pay them the most, and they're just going to focus on that one. That's what I think. That's what I would do. Whichever one pays me the most,
Right.
that's what I'm going to.
Right.
So all these other hospitals that are like, oh, we're really like relying on you to come. It's like, well, if you ain't paying like top dollar, I can't afford you.
Yeah. You can't afford me. You can't afford me.
Yeah, man. Yeah. This is it's a problem, you know.
Well, everybody's going to end up paying more, right? I mean, what's going to happen is the hospitals are going to end up paying more because they're going to have to pay, locums more. And that's granted if doctors get on board and actually function like the businesses that they are, the independently contracted ones anyway. So the hospitals are going to just have to pay more. So I honestly encourage and urge doctors, especially the new docs out there, do your research. The new docs who are doing locums, like even if you've been in the business for a while and you're new to locums, you're new to independent contracting, I encourage you, do your research. Do not go out there taking $90 an hour, okay, when your premium is about to go up.
I know why you're saying that, because you don't want your pay to go down. That's true. That's me though. I don't want my pay to go down.
Right.
So listen,
I don't want my pay to go down.
Just get straight. Listen, y'all. The new docs out there, yo, stop taking these low ball prices, yo. You need to start negotiating more, because what happens is you take the cheapest price, then you mess with my money, all right? So it's not only you screwing yourself, but you screwing me.
Yeah.
So now that prices are going to go up, hey, the price yesterday is not the price today, all right? So negotiate more. Boom. There you go. Let's do some action steps. That was one action step right there. I like that. So listen, this is mainly for not the docs who are making like over six figures. But I think for the docs who are in training right now, docs who are maybe in training and doing, they're doing locums, right? You can go to the website, whatever state you're in, you can check to see if you have subsidies, right? Whatever subsidies that you may be eligible for and they are still out there, sign up for them, right? For the most part, if you're making over like, six figures, you're probably not going to be eligible unless you have like an adjusted gross income, which is related to how many tax deductions you got, dependents, things like that.
Why you tap on me when you said dependents?
Because you don't work.
What do you mean I don't work?
You don't contribute.
How don't I contribute?
You don't listen.
Okay, you know what? If that's the case, then I really am not going to go to work.
Better take your ass to work.
Okay, now I work.
All right. Listen, action step number 2. This is for everybody. Listen, y'all need to start budgeting. That's what I'm telling you right now. If you know that, for example, for us, that we're going to be more than $300, $400 every month, you guys got to start considering that in your calculations of what you're spending on a monthly basis. Just keep that in mind, right? So that you're ready for these higher premiums. Don't forget also, there's going to be higher out-of-pocket costs also.
Mm-hmm.
So you may want to buff up those HSAs, right? The health spending accounts. You may want to buff up those FSAs, the flexible spending accounts also, because you're going to be more of the responsibility of paying for your health care is going to be on you.
Mm-hmm.
So you might as well just start planning for that. Okay. So you don't want to walk into this blindsided. You just, someone's going to have to pay the piper. It's going to be you. So you just want to make sure you're saved up. Right.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I looked up that I didn't consider is this. If you're an independent contractor listening right now, you can consider a change in your business structure. Check this out, right? You may want to consider a business structure that allows you to purchase coverage through a group plan, right? So not as an individual, but as a group plan, such as an LLC taxed as an S Corp with at least one employee. So now you're buying a group plan, and it may just be you, but the reason why is that the price spike is really just for individual plans. That's what we're finding out. The price spike doesn't affect group plans right now.
So this is these are healthcare plans.
Correct. That's just something. So, but if you change your structure of your organization to be like, we're going to cover a group plan, you might be able to get a better benefit.
I see.
Right. For the employed physicians, listen, man, if the subsidies expire, just make sure, there's going to be changes in your covered drugs. There's going to be premium increases. There's going to be deductible increases. You need to call HR, find out what's the scoop. They can give you a heads up. Okay. And the other thing, and I think this goes a ways also, is, for those who are pretty conscious with their patients, is prepare your patients. Let them know. Let them know that, hey, whether you are, if you have Medicaid or Medicare, depending on if you deal with those type of patients, if you have patients who have their own private insurance, or if you have people who are small business owners, things are going to change, and be prepared. And, get them ready to be like, hey, listen, there's some options out there, so it's.
I would say one other thing I would add to that is that there are now alternatives popping up.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned this. I keep forgetting about this, but yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, there are healthcare insurance alternatives that are starting to pop up. And I don't know, we should mention one.
Go ahead.
In particular, but there's one called Indie Pop. But it's kind of like membership based.
They're not a sponsor, guys.
No, they're not a sponsor. But they are kind of like a membership based. I can't explain the whole thing because I don't know all the ins and outs, but people are using it to essentially not necessarily purchase ACA plans, right? Or have your typical healthcare insurance. And people are using it for things like surgical procedures, office visits, urgent care visits. And apparently there isn't as much of the rigmarole of trying to figure out, am I authorized? Do I have to get a referral? Do I have to do this? Do I have to do that? It's much more flexible. So it's
more like a co-op.
Yes.
Right. So if you, depending on which neighborhood you live in, if you live in a nice neighborhood, there might be a co-op in your neighborhood, which is in essence like a supermarket that everybody contributes to.
Mm-hmm.
The prices are a little bit more expensive, but you get, in essence, it's like going to Walmart or going to your local supermarket, but it's really more mom and pop. And the community benefits because they have their own type of supermarket.
Yeah.
As opposed to having a big box company come in. Now, what you're talking about specifically with the co-op is you join a community, and then all the monies that you guys put in gets rationed out to everybody within the community.
Right.
And what they end up finding out is that these co-ops, these communities spend money better than if you went through an insurance company.
Is that like a healthcare susu?
For all the immigrants, for all the West Indians listening, they're like,
you know that susu life. You know that susu life.
explain what a susu is for those who ain't from the Caribbean, please.
So a susu is essentially, it's kind of like a savings, a quote unquote account. It's really not an account because it doesn't go in a bank. So you get like, let's say 5 friends, 6 friends, however many friends you have. And then they all put money into what they call a susu. Usually one person is collecting the susu, right? And you all take turns essentially collecting the susu such that as everybody collects, then it goes to one person. And then you rotate the next cycle. Then all of the money goes to the next person. Then you rotate the next
When
cycle.
an issue happens.
Right. Well, it can be when an issue happens, or it can just be when the cycle completes.
Okay. Gotcha.
Right. So after you've done 6 cycles, everyone should have gotten money from the susu. But sometimes people be taking off with the susu, you know what I'm saying? You got to be careful about the person who is like the first, the third, the whatever. If they're not the last person in the susu, they might just take off with it. So,
do you have any experience with susus?
No, I've never done a susu.
Me neither.
Specifically for that reason, because people be taking off with the susu.
Well, I'll preempt it with this. Have you been at a job where they could have been a susu? I haven't been at one. So.
Oh yeah, I've been at jobs where
Really?
they could have been a susu for sure.
Yeah, the Sports Authority didn't have one.
But that is a job that could have had a susu.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Well, it depends on who's the demographic, who's the employees. Like susu is more of a West Indian type
Of course
thing,
it's
right?
more of a
Like
West Indian thing.
Right.
Yes, of course.
so.
But I've definitely been at jobs where there could have been a susu.
Well, look, we beat this up a bit. So, guys, we're going to go on to our next topic, all right? So, right now, we're going to answer a question from one of our audience members on PSLF, being a first-gen immigrant and not disappointing their parents. Let's jump into this. So, me, I love listener questions because that's when you get the real. All right, guys? That's what we're here for, right? Like, we in our 40s,
Shut up, Nii.
And, we've been through a lot. We've seen a lot. The school of hard knocks, and I think that's our power. Our superpower is we're not far enough that, we don't know what's going on with the younger generation, but we've been through it where we can give really good advice.
Okay.
Right.
Let's see.
I know you guys, the young, y'all don't like to listen, but I'm telling you, we know what's going on.
Youngins.
So let's jump into this. We got a question. Literally, this guy's initials or girl's initials is MD. Right?
How convenient.
How convenient, right? What if you go into, what do you call it, osteopathic school?
Hi, I'm MD to DO.
Right, MDDO. All right, it says, I'm finishing med school with $520,000 in student loans. God damn. My parents never went to college, and they think I'm now, in quotes, set for life.
because you went to college.
No, he's finishing med school.
No, I know he went to because he went to college, right?
Man, let me finish this. I feel guilty even considering PSLF, Public Service Loan Forgiveness. Am I wrong for wanting forgiveness instead of paying everything back? MD?
What?
Yeah, that's a question.
Let me keep going.
That's it.
What?
Yeah. All right, listen, come on.
Yo.
But we gotta.
Is this person wearing a collar? Because I'm about to grab it.
We judge. Excuse me.
Yeah, we judge.
We listen and we don't judge.
No.
Babe.
We can and we will.
Babe, don't play our listener base. I mean, listen, this is an issue, right?
Look at my face.
This is where cultures.
Look at my face.
This is where cultures clash. She's not buying it. But this is where cultures clash, and
I'm calling cap on that whole question.
And this is where modern reality comes in, right?
Oh, here's some money. No, please. What?
Well, I do think. Listen,
hold on a second. Hold on. So if you played the lottery for $1 and you won $6 billion, you wouldn't take it?
That's not what he's saying.
But listen, it's the same thing for me because you paying so much to go to school because you're paying. You're still paying, right? PSLF isn't a free ride. It is paying so much and then getting the rest taken away.
Exactly.
So if you pay a dollar for the lottery and you win it, are you not going to take it? That's the only question that you got to answer. That will give you your answer. If the answer is you would not take that money, then don't do the PSLF. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I think Renee is on one. Basically, what you're saying, we both agree. But what we're saying is PSLF is there, my dude, my guy, my girl. Mainly because you are providing care in the public sector and the government is giving you an incentive to do so, right? So as a result, they are making it financially tasteful, right, to work in the public sector as opposed to taking a private paying job or, doing something that you're not going to be doing greater good for the people. So as a result, that's out there for you. So, but listen.
In other words, take it, fool.
Here's the issue. You're right, but here's the thing. Like he's expressing or she's expressing guilt probably from their parents, right? He's probably having guilt or saying like, look, like...
What immigrant parents don't want money?
But they don't understand, though, right? The fact that they're saying that he's rich, right? They should understand that, okay, he's got, I don't know if they know he has $520,000 in debt, but, just because you're a doctor doesn't mean that you're rich.
Hello?
Right. Most immigrants aren't rich, though.
Hello? That's what I'm saying.
So I think what I would say to you is that PSLF, it's not a loophole, right? I don't want you to look at it as a loophole. It's public policy, right? And just like I said, you do a public service, and as a result, there's going to be a financial win for you, right?
Right.
But it's something that you're going to have to do work. Not only do you have to practice in a public sector for 10 years, but you also got to make payments to your student loans for 10 years and not miss a payment. So there's a lot of different things that you have to do, a lot of hoops, a lot of hurdles that you got to get through without making a mistake before you get a significant portion of your student loans forgiven. So, the guilt that you may be feeling, that might be misplaced. Right?
That guilt is going to go straight away when you have to pay 10 consecutive years, what's that, 120 payments? 120 payments, right? And like Nii said, you gotta go to work. You still gotta go to work. You're not sitting down and doing nothing. You are still going to work, dealing with patients, dealing with the healthcare system, dealing with all the frustrations, everything. So you're still going to work. So
the other thing too, like your parents who are immigrants, they're probably thinking about when school was inexpensive. You know what I'm saying? Which a lot of parents, you talk to a lot of doctors who are 15, maybe even 20 years older than us. They're saying like their med schools were like less than $10K a year. Right.
But this person's parents didn't necessarily go to college. So we don't know that they actually are,
Look, I'm shooting them bail right now. I'm shooting them bail. Right. And I'm trying to understand. We got to understand we got to meet them where they're at also. Right. So we got to explain that, listen, like, this is like, because some people think like, yeah, like, I'm getting away with something. It's like, well, no, you're not getting away with something. This is this is a transaction. Give me all your money. This is a transaction. Excuse me. This is a transaction that's public policy.
Exactly.
Right. So you do something. As a result, you get something in return.
Great.
That's it. There's nothing in the United States that's for free. I'll tell you right now.
So you know what? All right. Dr. Renee was just way too taken aback by this question. So I'm going to taper myself a little bit and just say, listen, if your parents own a home, they would take tax deductions on owning the home, correct?
Yes.
They would not say to the government, please do not take these tax deductions because we live in our home and enjoy it, right? Think of this kind of like the same thing. There is a contribution that you are making to society. When you own a home, the government sees that as you contributing to society financially in some way. And so they reward you for it. They give you a tax deduction. If you owned your own practice, for example, if you owned your own practice and you got tax deductions because you are a business owner, wouldn't you take those as well? Because you're doing some sort of contribution to society financially, then the government rewards you for that. This is the same thing. This is the same thing.
Well, I'm glad you said that. The reason why I'm glad you say that is I do think there's a real thing with having very traditional parents growing up in a modern world.
It's tough.
And you take on some of those traditional thoughts with you, and that might hold you back. Even though your parents mean well, we talk about that all the time, right? Our parents not knowing about investing, but teaching us to just put money in a bank, but not teaching us about how to invest. So although the information was juvenile in some regards, right? It's good advice, but it's like, okay, this is first grade, second grade level stuff.
Right.
There needs to be a more like nuanced approach, right?
Yeah.
So if someone comes to you and says, well, you need to invest your money in the stock market, you can be like, no, that's gambling to me.
Right.
Right? That's kind of the same thing though, right? Where there's this way where you can make a significant amount of money or a rate of return on your money. It's going to require some type of risk, but you're going to get significant amount of return based off of historical returns.
Right.
It's not apples to apples, but it's kind of similar, right? So that's why I think it's important.
Old world thinking.
Yes. Now you got me. That's why I wanted to give time to this because, he probably or she probably needs to hear from us that, listen, I get that there's some things that are I hear there's some things that are keeping you in the traditional world, but I'm just letting you know that there's a lot of anxiety staying in that thought process, right? Because if you run the numbers between paying off your student loans, $520,000 according to the standard way that the student loan company wants you to pay, run the numbers there and find out how much at the end of those 20 years, how much interest you're going to be paying.
Oh yeah, you'll pay well over $1 million.
On top of the student loans that you've already taken out. Now compare that to making, staying in the public sector, making 10 years of payments and not missing a payment, and just compare and find out which works best for you, right? And I think more times than not, you'll find out that the anxiety, the time, the possible burnout that it could take paying off the traditional way may not be worth it, right? Because if you're slowing down just a little bit by paying less, but you're doing it over 10 years, think about it. That's other monies that could go towards investing. That's time that you can spend with family. That's time that you can put towards kids' retirement funds. So I get where you're coming from. I think I when I first saw this, I was like, wait, what? Man, what are you worried about? But then I thought about it for myself also. We were there.
I wasn't there.
You're thinking about PSLF.
Correct. That's what I'm thinking
But
about.
if we were there talking about investing, you're there.
I might have been a little squeamish at one point in time.
So, dude or girl, listen.
Girl.
PSLF is not cheating the system. It is the system.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It is the system.
Now that's a snap right there. It's not cheating the system.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's
go back to my previous episode. Like, yo, this is Hitch. I'm Hitch. Just keep it right here, yo. PSLF is the system. Right? It's not cheating it, right? Stay right here. We're not going for anything, just pizza. You know what I'm saying? We're not trying to do no like what you like. What do you like in your pizza? Like mangoes and olives and
what?
Fuck out of here. Yeah, we just
mangoes.
So good and tasty.
Cheese pizza, yo. That's it, yo. Stay right there, yo. Don't do nothing too crazy. PSLF, yo. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So I kept the note right here. It says, I think PSLF, I think taking yourself away from that traditional thought process, that protects your future household. And it kind of gets you away from disappointing the house that you came from. Ooh. Because I be keeping notes. Before I talk, I'm like, yo, I'm going to get them. Get it? Protecting your future household.
I'm going to drop a bar.
Protecting your future household, not disappointing the one you came from.
Well, I think so. I want to be clear also.
What do you want to be clear?
I want to be clear on that. While I understand the question specifically around the guilt, of PSLF, it doesn't necessarily mean that PSLF is for, this person, right? You, like you said, you mentioned you have to run the numbers. You have to consider your own social situation, right? You've got to consider, well, do I want to pay off my loans after 10 years of working, or do I want to pay them off in 5 years and then be free to do whatever I want without having to have the burden of this loan
But that's a different
on my
situation.
brain?
To me, that's a different
I know
situation.
that is a different situation.
Those are three situations.
Yes, I know that, but that's the point that I'm making, is that I understand the question.
And don't be touching me stuff like you like.
Anyway,
I'm the host.
Get out of here.
I got you. I'm gonna hold you right there. Touch me.
I understand the question, but what I am saying is I don't
Speaking to the mic, please.
I don't want us to convey this notion that if you don't do PSLF, that you must be out of your mind, right? Because PSLF is not for everyone, right? And we've talked about this on the podcast as to whether or not, if PSLF were around when we were paying off our loans, would we have done it over the 10-year span, to be able to get everything paid off? My answer was actually no, but it was not for guilt. It was not for guilt. It was because I felt that even if PSLF had been available to me, I just didn't want the burden of thinking about, I got, $300 some odd $1,000 worth of student loan debt. I wanted it off my brain.
Yeah, but I agree with everything you said.
Of course you do.
I do think that these are three separate situations. There's the scenario of you're paying your student loans off the traditional way, which could take 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a scenario of doing PSLF.
Mm-hmm.
I think those two you have to compare. Then the third scenario is paying off your student loans accelerated.
Mm-hmm.
That's a separate conversation,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I think once you decide to pay off your student loans early, then what you're doing is you're making the decision that you don't want to deal with these student loans any much longer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you realize that this is a mathematical equation. I want to get it all taken care of. I don't want to deal with this anymore. So you are paying it off as quickly as possible. You're saving as much interest as possible.
It may not be a mathematical equation, though. It may just be like a psychological equation. Like, I want to subtract this thought process, this burden.
All of that goes. But if you decide to pay off your student loans according to the traditional way,
mm-hmm.
and you compare it to PSLF, that's a good comparison, right? If I follow the rules, these rules versus I follow these rules, how's it going to work for me?
Right.
Or I could just decide to do it on my own. Make my own rules, and
mm-hmm.
I'd be out of debt way faster and pay off less interest. So
right.
I agree with you. I think you agree with me. I think we kind of beat this to the horse. MD, thank you very much for
the horse.
Beat this horse down. I'm not good with my colloquialisms, guys. I'm not. I'm horrible.
Somebody send me a list of colloquialisms that he probably should know how to say appropriately.
Right. But listen, guys, I want to say, I heard somebody walking upstairs, yo. I think that's what threw me off. Did you hear somebody walking upstairs?
Yeah, but we always hear upstairs.
Well, anyway, guys, I really appreciate you all writing in. If you want us to answer your questions, go to the show notes. You can also, in the show notes, you'll find out that you can text us, you can email us, you can even send us fan mail, and any type of question that you have, whether it's related to the pain points that you have, which could be student loans, which could be investing, which could be relationships while in residency, whatever it may be, bad, coworkers, you hate your partners. We've dealt with all of those different things. All right. So go ahead and click on the show notes if you want to find out how to send us a message, and we will answer it on a future episode. Dr. Renee, is there anything that you want to say before we sign off?
Yeah. And also, if you want to send a list of colloquialisms to me,
just like that,
you can also use all of those methods of communication that he just mentioned.
I love you guys. This is what I got to deal with. Pray for us. Don't laugh at us. See you guys on the next episode, y'all. Peace.
Deuces.